Hello everyone, my name is John Tyler Gibson. I'm a native of the Detroit area in Michigan. Grew up with a father who was an engineer in the automobile industry, and I have been in the automobile industry for over 40 years of my adult life. And during that period I've had a lot of varied experience in terms of being very closely associated with product development. I would say the highlight of my career has been my association with the Corvette automobile. One of the things that I encountered in recent years was this system for fuel conservation that was shown to me originally by Sean Drazen. And over the last few years I have tried to share with him some of my experience in helping to guide him to the ongoing development of this product. Now, this car that I drove all the way down to the Atlanta, Georgia area is a Buick Century 2001 model with a 3600cc high-performance V6 engine. Coming down here, I was monitoring fuel consumption all the way down, and on average I achieved a consumption average of 18.6 miles to a gallon. Now, after having this system installed in this car, I've been driving it around this area of Georgia for the last couple of days, and in a mix of highway and city driving, I'm getting 31.7 miles to a gallon as measured by some instrumentation in this vehicle. I'm expecting, as I get on the road and driving the 765 miles to my home today, that I will probably be seeing an improvement in that number based on the fact that I'll be cruising most of the time on the highway. And so I am very, very pleased with the system and the noticeable improvements that I've seen Sean produce in it. And it is no longer the kind of system that has to be installed up in the engine compartment. The system itself is totally contained in this toolbox size container here that rests in the trunk of this vehicle. There's no extra electronics involved at all. It's all of the guts of the system, you might say, are right here in a nicely wrapped package. It just sits here and makes absolutely no noise. You cannot hear it operating inside the car, but it is fundamentally taking pure water, chemically treated water, and breaking it into hydrogen and oxygen gas, which is then mixed with the air and fuel mixture in the car through tubes that run from the rear of the car here into the engine compartment, and the rest is a very positive history so far as I'm concerned.
So let me ask you a question, John. You said you worked for in the automotive industry. Can you give me some of your educational background?
Yes, I was originally educated with a small institution over in the state of Alabama, in Mobile, Alabama, which is the Spring Hill College, or the Jesuit College of the South. I was studying pre-medicine and pre-engineering over there, and when I finished at Spring Hill, I went and took a number of classes in engineering at Wayne State University in Detroit. And then at that time I was working with the General Motors Corporation and was working with products of almost all of their car divisions in helping to develop marketing programs for them. And after a while at General Motors, I did go over to Chrysler and had considerable experience with the Jeep line of vehicles after Chrysler acquired American Motors. So I've been in the area of product development almost all of my adult life, and I'm very much excited by what I think this system can bring to the automotive world.
And along with that, you've also done other things that's like race car driving and of that nature? And I'm asking this because your experience really is important in your evaluation of the product.
Yes. When I got assigned to the Corvette project, I was actually the corporate spokesperson for the car, and I published a magazine for Corvette owners, and I made appearances all over the country on behalf of the car. And I got the bug from one of my associates during a period when General Motors was not actually in racing, that I personally wanted to race that car. So I enlisted the services of a well-known trainer, Bob Bondurant, and went to the Bondurant School out in California, and subsequently did a considerable amount of racing over the next few years and enjoyed every minute of it.
And not to like drop names, but I think it's important that people know the quality and level of people that you've worked with over the years. Can you name a few people that you've worked with closely?
The most noticeable one was a fellow named Dick Goldstrand, who he took the car to Le Mans in France when it had to be done and could only be done by privateers. In other words, the corporation was not underwriting that kind of a program, and Bob Bondurant was his co-driver, and it was kind of a negative experience overall. At the 18-hour mark in the 24-hour race, Dick and Bondurant were out ahead of the field, including the Ferraris, who were dominating that event at the time, and they were miles ahead. And then a very insignificant motor part, a wrist pin in a cylinder, worked its way loose, and the engine was spent, and they had to pull off and complete the race at that time.
Anybody else that you that people would notice their names that you've worked with?
Dave McClellan, who's next to Zora Arkus Duntov, is the best-known Corvette chief engineer.
And let's see, I know that you've worked with DeLorean.
For a while, of course, John DeLorean was a major product developer and power person at General Motors, and I did have some direct contact with him, and that continues today with a gentleman named Herb Adams, who was a very prominent Pontiac development engineer when he was working for DeLorean.
So I guess to summarize this whole conversation is, what do you think about the system? Would you recommend to your friends, as you have the experience, obviously, you have the education, you have the knowledge, what's your bottom line evaluation of the product? And base it on what you've seen out there in the market.
Based on what I've seen on the market, and also what I see every time I drive up to a gas pump, this is something that you cannot afford to be without in the long pull of things. I, for one, do not think that electric vehicles that are battery powered is the answer to our diminishing fuel resources. But this this system can make the best use and the most efficient use of gas combustion and diesel engines as well.
I know you've evaluated stainless steel models on your own. What have you come to conclusion with those?
Yeah, I had a stainless steel model of this kind of a system in my car, and it has a tendency, though everybody says it's stainless steel, and people have experienced the fact that it resists oxidation and resists rust formation, that in fact there is iron content in those plates, and therefore when they are encountering water, there's going to be contamination, and there's going to be particles that'll fall out, and you'll see that in the water reservoir.
Well, I thank you very much.
My pleasure.